Hi everyone. In this demonstration video, I'll be showing you Interfy's addition to the Procore MYOB integration, the timesheeting and labour job costing tool. This tool is compatible with all forms of time entry in Procore, such as via the Resource Management Timesheets tool, which I'll be demonstrating today. It's compatible with time card entry, time entered directly into a project site diary, or time entered using Procore's smartphone app, MyTime. This timesheet tool is broken into two distinct parts, and you can use one or both parts of it. The first part is the timesheeting portion, where we're simply getting a timesheet from Procore into MYOB. It arrives as a draft for payroll to finalise. The second part is the job costing, where the hours worked by an employee are converted into a direct cost onto a project. The direct cost is created when the site diary is closed for the day, and the calculation of the direct cost is simply the time entered in Procore multiplied by the rate you've set in OneCore for that employee for that particular time type, and puts that as a direct cost onto the project. It's important to note that when the integration pushes timesheets from Procore into MYOB, this is the only time the integration talks to MYOB. So the employee rates for Procore time types entered in OneCore are independent of MYOB rates. To use the module, we need to ensure that the two systems can talk to each other. And in order to do this, you'll need to perform some tasks on the OneCore dashboard. If you're sending a timesheet, you'll need to map the employee in Procore with the relevant employee in MYOB. And you'll also need to map the relevant time types in Procore, such as regular time, overtime, double time, to the relevant payroll categories in MYOB. And once you've defined the time type and employee mappings for timesheets, you then need to add rates into OneCore for all of the employees to use in direct cost calculations. And the syncing between the OneCore and Procore for the direct cost, once that site diary is closed, that's on a live sync, which is within 15 to 30 seconds, the same as the live sync between Procore and MYOB for the timesheet. It's all within 15 to 30 seconds. So in the demo portion of this video, I'll take you through entering a timesheet in Procore with the resource management tool and show you how that timesheet actually looks in MYOB. And I'll then show you how to close the site diary to trigger that direct cost and what it looks like when you go back into your project. But firstly, I'll show you the mappings on the OneCore dashboard. So here we are in the OneCore dashboard. So once you've had the timesheeting tool enabled, you'll see this timesheet job costings menu on the left-hand side. This is where you need to perform your pre-onboarding tasks for this tool. So the first step is to map up your time types by going in and selecting the blue pencil and matching it with the relevant payroll category in MYOB. And you save your changes. And then the next step is your employee mapping. If you have an employee such as a director who works on a project but doesn't need a timesheet in payroll because they're on a salary, you can tick allow unmapped, and therefore there's no point mapping up to a relevant MYOB employee. You just tick allow unmapped and you'll just be creating a direct cost for that person. So if you have a person that you are sending a timesheet for, you would click the pencil next to their name and select the relevant MYOB employee. You would then enter rates for each employee for each time type, and you can also set project override rates if you require different rates for time types on certain projects. Some customers will have a cost plus project and will have a margin they want to incorporate here in that rate. Other customers will take the amount paid to the employee and they'll add in the cost of super allowances, company overheads, etc. They'll build up that rate. So these rates have no communication with your MYOB payroll, so they can be anything. And once the mapping and settings have been completed, you will need to enable the timesheet tool on the relevant projects. The timesheets will then be sent across on a live sync from Procore, as a draft into MYOB, and then the direct cost will be triggered by the site diary closure for the day in Procore. So I'll show you an example of entering a timesheet in Procore using the resource management tool. So I'll hit create new daily timesheet. You select the relevant employee. You select the cost code. This cost code will be the cost code that will show up in the budget. And we'll enter the hours that are entered there, the start time, stop time, and I'll enter the time type. So I'll do regular time. The good thing about entering time via the timesheeting tool is there is an approval process built in, and it's probably the best in terms of what Procore has to offer. So I'll hit submit here. And then I'm just going to change this status for demo purposes straight to approved. So this has successfully updated the timesheet, and within 15 to 30 seconds, this timesheet will make its way into MYOB. So I'll move into MYOB now and show you what that screen looks like. So we're here in MYOB. To find this draft timesheet, I'll go into the Enter Timesheet button. I'll find the particular employee. So it's John Smith. He's the mapped employee. Now we can see on this particular day, we've got 9 hours entered against this particular job for this mapped payroll category. So this is how the time appears in MYOB. So I'll go back into Procore now and show you what you need to do to trigger that direct cost to be created against the project. And I'll show you what that direct cost looks like. So go into the direct costs. Actually, I'll go into the site diary first to trigger the direct cost. So we can see that we need to close off this particular day, complete day. It'll take between 15 to 30 seconds to appear on the project in the direct cost tool. So I'll take us to that now. We're in the direct cost tool, and the top line you can see is the direct cost that has been created as a result of closing that particular day in the project site diary. So I'll hit view. You can see that the type was payroll, and the amount and date of the timesheet entry are showing. And you can see details such as the cost code, and that shows where it's going to appear in the budget. And the amount you can see is, if I make this a little smaller, you can see the amount is the result of the hours multiplied by the rate that you set in OneCore. So you can customize the detail that appears here. For example, you can remove employee names by adjusting your settings on the tool in OneCore. So that is how the direct cost appears. So if you're interested in any more information about this tool and you would like some support, just contact support or give them a call. And if you are interested in purchasing our integration, please contact our sales team at hello@interfy.com.au, or you can give us a call on the number listed here. Thanks for your time.